7:04, you are rolling.
Okay.
The meeting is yours.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 7:04, and we'll start off with a roll call.
Gail Linden.
Sarah Gutierrez.
Chris Kowalski,
Brandon Weinbaum.
David Schwartz.
Abril Seward.
and approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. And approval of the minutes for April 27th, May 26th, and June 1st, 2026. Easy for me to say.
I can approve the motion to approve for the May 26th and June 1st. The April, I wasn't here, so.
I'll move it.
Okay. Motion by, do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. And brings to item number
You
5.
still need the one that he didn't make the motion for.
Oh, for the June 1st one?
Yeah.
I think Gail
Gail picked up.
picked it up.
I pick it up. I'll do the whole thing.
She can do the whole thing. and-
Okay, so
Yeah.
it wasn't your motion.
Yeah,
It's her
yeah.
motion. Okay,
Since you
Yep.
couldn't do the whole thing, I'll do the whole thing.
good enough.
Okay, matter of site plan review for the solar placement at 13160 Boardman.
Hello. Yes, I've been here exactly 7 months ago, and for my initial install, it works great. I can just recommend it to everyone. It produces as much energy as we need as of May forward, but we're looking for a second electric vehicle, so we want to add 3 panels, and that's why I'm here. We would need to put them on the west-facing side. I have a couple of pictures here as well, an explanation. So if you could go to the next slide. Actually, background we know already, so next slide would be the situation.
You want the next
Yeah,
one?
one slide further.
Okay, I just want to point out one thing. We do not limit solar panel placements to rear or side. I mean, we do allow it, that's where we allow it. It kind of reads that we don't allow it, so I just want to be clear on that. So you want the next one, Matthias?
Yes.
Okay.
So the request here is now for placement for 3 additional panels to the current existing photovoltaic plan. You see the 3 are the yellow marked. The other ones are basically which are installed. So they are on the roof. It's the roof which kind of faces Berkeley, but it's basically facing south. So because the angle of the face of that garage addition is facing sidewards. So since it's a corner lot, the only other options would really be north or east, and the sun exposure and what we can capture on the north or on the east side is so minimal that it doesn't really work. The south side, we understand, is seen as critical, and it's a flat roof, so you would see it immediately. So we're not even proposing to put anything on the south side. The idea is to add these 3 on the west-facing, west Berkeley-facing, and they're on the south side. So I don't know if this picture makes sense for you right now, or if we should go 2 pictures further to see the photographs. So this is basically the study which shows if I would use north-facing, I have only 29% total solar resource factoration. So that means if I take the situation on placing my solar panels, I would only get 29% out. For efficiency or cost efficiency, the general rule is you want to have 50 to 60%. If we go on the west-facing side, we would end up at 59%, which is on the low end, but with that, I think we would get enough to capture the additional needed energy out of it. If you go on further, and that's basically the pictures. If you go north, if you go south on Berkeley, that's a lower picture, you don't even see the roof line because the roof design is basically obtrusive. If you walk north, you would see that little angle on the garage top there. And again, same thing, it would be flat-mounted black panels, non-reflective, frame black, and the attachments black. Different than what we have here. Here we have light aluminum frame, which I think pops more into the eye. It's black on black, like Ferndale requires as well. It's less visual pop out. And I don't have a list. I wanted to start a list, but I was traveling. I was in a conference in Kentucky, because everyone who walks by and I talk to, I have not had one person who says, I don't like it, it's ugly, it's bad. Sure, who tells you this to your face? But I think there's a lot of interest, and everyone seemed to be very, very positive. So to me, it goes even one step further, where I think we may want to really revisit our ordinance to be a little bit more open and friendly towards alternative energy. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here for this. But I think still with the feedback I receive so far, I definitely think it's very, very positive. People are open and very interested in it.
Okay.
But with that said, I am here to ask for your approval for deviation to get these 3 panels placed as well on the Berkeley facing side.
Did you?
Yeah, just,
Anything to add?
this just be a couple seconds,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair. Just basically, Mr. Bonmueller was approved for that side anyway on Berkeley. Had he come before us with that at that time, it's highly likely that that would have been approved too. The city has no objection. He's followed the process exactly as it should be. And he's here before you tonight to ask for 3 more panels where he already has, on that side. The city would have no objections at that point.
Open up the commission, open up the questions to the planning commission?
Did you say where the 3 panels are going is flat, or is that a sloped roof also?
So if you go back to the picture, it's a sloped roof as well.
Okay,
Absolutely. So, and that's why the benefit is so high, because for Michigan, you would need 42.5% tilt to maximize your utilization.
would you go, Hank, to the drawing again? Thank you. Okay, because before coming here, I drove by just to see the placement. I mean, I don't even see the ones up on top. But I did see the 3 that are on the Berkeley side. And then on the same roof, there are some metal
Correct. Lines, yes.
lines. And so this is on the other side of the
Exactly.
roof going down?
Yes.
Okay, I have no problem.
I like that you even drive by. That's much better than just seeing pictures.
I like to see what's going on.
I have no questions.
No questions? None. I remember we did this one last time, so.
And it's the same, it's the only question, it's the same exact panels that we already approved.
Actually, there's a slight difference.
Okay.
Visual, because in the meantime, they are able to get more energy out of the panels. So instead of 450 watt panels, these will be, I think, 500 watt panels.
But visually, and the
No
height and
difference.
everything is still the
Same
exact same
manufacturer,
thing?
same colors,
Okay.
same pattern, everything's exactly
Okay.
the same.
I don't have any further questions. We'll open up to public participation, and just come up to the podium, state your name. Give you 2 minutes, comment only. Okay. Seeing no public participation, we'll close public participation and open it up for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the 3 panels on the Berkeley side of the house at 13160 Boardman.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 6, matter of a new house at 1311 Nadine. Hey, how you doing?
My name's Chris Morgan from Chris Morgan and Associates, and I'm here representing my clients, Adam and Tally Baruch at 13111 Nadine. And so we're looking at adding a 2-story addition to their existing home. The addition primarily is in the rear yard. And because of the.
Chris, just tell me if you want me to flip these.
Yeah, just stay on the side, yeah, I'll let you know. So, because of the configuration of the lot and the house on the lot, we really only had the rear yard to work with. The front yard setbacks and the side yard setbacks will maintain what they are currently. The rear yard is currently 65 feet, and we'll be reducing that to 51 feet. So still a large rear yard. And really, that's the highlight of this property is the backyard. It's got a great backyard. My client's into gardening, so he really wants to maintain as much of that as he can. So with that, and having the attached garage, we felt like the best use of the property would be to add the addition across the whole back of the lot, and only come out 12 feet and then 14 feet in the very middle of the addition. We feel like this addition does comply with the guidelines, with the exception of one thing, the 195 square feet that we're over on the maximum house size, which I'll address momentarily. I did want to let you know, too, we're going to be at 28.61% lot coverage once the addition's built, so we'll be under the 30%. And we're going to turn the house into a colonial-style home, which is common on that street, and we'll be under the 26-foot threshold for height on that as well. For the house size, if we go to the A2, Hank, the main level. So my clients, they have 3 kids, and they regularly have large family dinners, and sometimes as many as 30 people come. And they do keep kosher. So we needed to create an addition that would accommodate a fairly good-sized kitchen so they could keep kosher, some fairly decent-sized eating areas, and then a gathering area. But we feel like these are not huge spaces. Like the kitchen is 17.5 by 13.5. The nook is 12 by 13.5. The family room's 18 by 17.5. And then the front dining room's only 12 by 17. And then we did create a little mud room, a small little office, Tally works from home, and then a half bath. But our goal was to accomplish everything they needed to, but not make this house any larger than it needs to be. 1, for budget, and 2, for obviously to try to maintain as much of the backyard as we could. And then if we go to the second level, A3, you'll see that, so again, they have 3 kids, so we needed to create a 4-bedroom house. And it's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths upstairs with a small laundry room. Again, master bedroom's 14.5 by 15. The kids' bedrooms are 12.5 by 14. Actually, bedroom 3 is 12 by 14. And then the laundry is only 6.5 by 9.5. So we try to fit a lot of stuff in there. But with that said, we feel like the house is fitting with the lot. If we go to the elevation view, Hank, A5, see again, we turned this into a colonial, brick on the first floor, lap siding on the second floor. We purposely did hip roofs to try to reduce the massing, 612 pitch roof, which allows us to stay under the 26-foot height restriction. And again, we felt like keeps the massing limited. But we did want to, give the house a lot of windows. So if you walk around the house, if you go to the next shot, Hank, you'll see on the side views and the rear view, we have a lot of windows. We stepped in the second level where we could. And then, Hank, if you could go to the streetscape, do you have that?
I think I do here. I might have to pull that up out of here. They have it.
Okay. Well, if in your packet, if you look at the streetscape, the thing I was trying to show you there was that our proposed house and the neighbor's house, which is also a colonial, and I think that's a 6-bedroom house, if I remember right, are fairly, complementary. We're probably about 3.5 feet taller than that house at our peak height, but we don't, by any means, look like we're towering over that house. And from the front of the house, because we can't change the length is what it is, and we're not adding to the front other than just a little area in the garage where it's stepped back. The house isn't going to look, so much more massive. But yeah, so you can see in the streetscape there, you can see that that's, my AutoCAD person tells me that's 8 scale. And so I will say the rendering, the roof line on the rendering is not exactly perfect, where it's bumped up in the very high point there. We lopped that off, but AI just would not listen to me and take that off no matter what I did, so that's how I had to submit it. But, so yeah, so with that, I just, like, again, I know we've got the 195 square feet, but with everything else, I think we are compliant. And we are, we've already submitted for ZBA for July 13th, if we get it through today. So, with that, I turn to Hank, or answer questions.
Hank?
Thank you. Okay, so there's a couple things that I do want to point out. I'll go through the standard stuff that we have, but I do want to point out a couple things. First off, they are under on the height at 25, 10 and a half, front yard, 29 feet, that's existing, no change, so it's short, but they're not proposing any change, and they're not constructing the 29 foot. So the side yards, minimum 5, total 14, 6.25 on one, 11.9, that's not correct.
No,
I
it's
gotta go through this, but I apologize on that.
it's
I didn't do-
5.25 on one side,
Yeah.
and 5.65. Those are the existings. We're keeping that.
So those are all existing, no
Yeah.
change. In the rear yard, required 35, I have 39.7. Lot coverage, they're gonna end up under the 30% at 28.6. So they're under with what they're asking for. The house size is 3202. What's proposed is 3397. Again, the 195 square foot house variance is needed. If you take a look at the houses on either side, and I want to point this out, let me just go back to this. Okay, so when you take a look at this program here, you see 4 bedrooms upstairs. And part of the issue that they have too is, again, this kind of goes to the ZBA, but it also kind of explains to you how we got here with the square footage. So, because it comes down kind of to the upstairs and the need for 4 bedrooms. The house on either side, the house on one side already has 4 bedrooms, the house on the other side has 6. So the design, even though they're 195 square feet over, does not necessarily reflect, I want to do this. It's not a want, it's a practicality. They have kids, they have that. So that's where they went with the 4 bedrooms, and in the neighborhood kind of establishes, and again, it's a zoning board of appeals thing, but it kind of goes towards the why they did what they did. So that's the one thing with that. Also, if you take a look at this back here, and you see what it is, by doing this across the whole back, they run into a 12-foot extension rather than jam it and go further back and run into a problem with that. Explaining some of the things for like kosher kitchens and that, Mr. Morgan hit on that, but you need like 2 sinks, you need like, in some cases, 2 stoves, you need, in some cases, 2 refrigerators. A lot of kosher kitchens, and I know that from a lot of experience when I did have a lot of experience building those and being involved in those. So I can tell you that it's a thing. They need the space. So a lot of the space comes from that. So if you see the bump out that they have there across that, that's kind of helps towards that. And then a mudroom, a rear entry, a mudroom. These are practical things. But I just want to point that out to you. And then I want to get back to this because this is important here. For the lot dimensions, they have 80 by 124. So does the person to the east, so does the person to the west. The lot area is 9920, all 3 lots, okay? They're at 3397. The one is at 2846 and the one is at 2444. The one at 2444, I'll point out, is a ranch. So they're somewhat limited even if they wanted to by virtue of lot coverage because it's a ranch. that house is expected to have on one floor what most houses have on 2 floors. So that explains that and perhaps why they wouldn't add on to that. Mr. Morgan's proposal is that he wants to add on to the 2nd floor. We normally wouldn't have a problem. He meets all the other criteria or is existing. There's no violation or anything like that, other than he needs the 125 square feet. The house to the west is 2,846 square feet, which is more in keeping with where they're going with the size. The difference being is that on a colonial, you want to stay over the foundation. So staying over the foundation means that you have to, he stepped back where he could in order to make sure that he got that bonus. But the foundation in and of itself is what carries the 2nd floor. So you want to carry it down. The easiest practical and best practice is to stay over the existing foundation. So that's how that comes in. The one to the west is a bungalow. So without blowing the roof off of that, you still got a house that's 2,846. So his 3,397 on a lot that's 9,920 square feet, proportionally by virtue of that, isn't that out of order. But he does need the variance. The exterior materials are consistent throughout the neighborhood, and the garage that they're looking for is an attached garage. We all know in Michigan, if you can, most of the times you do. So then go back to the streetscape plan. Mr. Morgan put that, and he also put houses that were in the neighborhood. And that's what all those other pictures are in front of you. So he put those there to kind of show you what other people are doing and how other houses are coming forward and not stepping back. And there's a variance in of architecture of what's in the neighborhood, but it gives you an idea of the kinds of colonials that are around there for that. And then we had a neighbor who wrote a letter of support, which was included in your packet. So having said that, the other thing that I wanted to point out was that we do have the survey, we do have the plans for that. As far as the drainage and grading goes, it shows it on the plan, because when it became that they were doing over 50%, I did send it to Nowak and Frous. I do not have that back. So any motion to move it forward should be included in that to comply with the Nowak and Frous, whatever their determinations are. But there is a survey, and it does have your grades and your drainage. It shows your swales and that type of thing on it. So other than that, Mr. Morgan, or I might be able to answer any questions you guys might have, and I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Hank. Any questions?
I do. I drove by this one too, but when I was driving by, I ended up passing the ranch and was almost past this one. So I didn't back up to see the ranch, but we don't have any pictures of the ranch. Most of these are across the street.
Yeah, the ranch fronts on Henley, so I started from their house and I just walked down the street both sides and took pictures of the colonials is what I did.
Okay. Question, just in wondering what it is, your page E3 doesn't tell me what it is. I have existing foundation, I have
Oh.
existing first floor, I have,
E3 is the 2nd level, so it was just a bungalow
Okay.
with one room up there.
Okay.
And like 4.5 foot tall walls.
okay. And in the redo of the basement, you're not putting any additional basement in for the addition? There's a crawl space that's going in?
No, we are gonna do a basement. They do wanna do a basement, but that's still gonna be subject to the costs and see what it comes in. We might end up going back to a crawl space depending on where that
Okay.
comes in.
Because I see there's one in the basement, there's one egress window,
Yeah.
what you're saying, out of bedroom number 5, and that's the only egress window for the entire basement, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna do an exercise space and then,
A lower level
A-
family room.
yeah.
And the lower level family room can make it to the bedroom to make it out in order to get the egress.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and in fact, the basement's finished right now, it's a kind of just one big space, and there's a little bathroom there, we're making the bathroom a little bit better, it's just a powder room down there.
And are all the materials on the house going to be new? Because you talk about brick veneer, about hardy siding.
Yeah.
They look like they're all new windows.
Yeah, everything's gonna be new, we may keep the brick, so it's a Belden brick if I can match it, because there's a lot of toothing in on the front, and I don't want it to look, it's a 6-core brick, so you can't save a lot of it when you take it off. and I don't want it to have a lot of different colors, you know, so if I can't match it, again, it's gonna be an aesthetic decision. We may end up stripping the brick off and doing new brick, but it'll still be in keeping kind of with that rendering we did. As far as color, it'll be a red brick, similar to what's on there.
Okay, and is the roof on the house a black roof,
It's either gonna
according to
be,
the rendition?
yeah, it's either gonna be black or a driftwood, which is, got a little bit of color to it.
The reason that I ask is you have both a metal roof over the porch and over the living room.
Yeah,
And that, first I thought maybe it was copper, but then I realized it was just a metal roof.
yeah, it's gonna be
And
like
that
a
was
dark
brown.
bronze. Yeah, like a dark bronze color, yeah.
Okay. And then, the garage is staying on its own foundation and not getting any different other than you're moving back the door and doing something, and then the space inside from that door will be part of the garage?
And that was kind of a weird, stone, breezeway, unheated space. We're knocking the walls down on that. It was kind of a weird, I don't know if that garage was detached once
I
upon
think
a
it was
time.
detached originally, and this is the way of
Yeah.
getting it attached.
But I will say the back wall of that foundation, I'm gonna pull out, it's sagging really bad. The corners have sagged, you can see the doors cockeyed, and so
The back wall of the garage foundation?
the back wall of the garage foundation is failing. So I am gonna plan on replacing that when I do
Okay.
everything else.
And then my last comment on your detailed plans is, there are no gutters
Oh, well, on the
and
plan,
downspouts.
on the floor plan, I did note on, oh, they're not on here. This is an older version. I did put them on there, but
Well,
we are gonna have gutters, but
We
yeah.
don't have them.
Yeah, that's my mistake. I updated the plans and I sent Hank the wrong one, but, yeah.
Okay, those are my comments.
Open up to anybody else?
I mean, I think you did a good job maximizing the space for how many, you know, a large family, and
And a kosher kitchen, 2
Yeah.
dishwashers, everything else. 195 is not much for going over for it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have any comments and leave it to the ZBA, I think, and otherwise it looks nice.
I don't have any comments.
I don't have any further comments as well.
Just one thing, again, Mr. Chair, is that, again, gutters, downspouts, flow will be addressed with NOAC and Frous before the building official will even see the plans. That letter will have to be in.
Okay, thank you, Hank.
What is the date for the ZBA?
July 13th.
And you already have other plans that have them on it?
I do have plans that have them on it. This, yeah, because he had me add them, but
Okay,
I don't know what happened, yeah.
if they at least
I
have
showed
those-
him on the main level
If they have
floor
those
plan.
plans.
Yeah, I showed him on the main level floor plan, but this is not that one, so there must be 2 of them running around, yeah.
Okay, we will open up the public participation. Limit to comment only for 2 minutes. Just state
Hello.
just state your name and.
My name is Susan Meinberg. I live at 13130 Nadine, across the street and down a few. First of all, their notation that the house directly next door on the west side is a 6-bedroom house, that's incorrect. It's a 5-bedroom house, according to Zillow, and my daughter used to play in that house. There are 2 large bedrooms upstairs, and then there are 3 on the lower level, on the first floor. As far as the pictures of the other colonials on that street, I didn't see them on the screen, but they are not as huge as this house. They are standard colonials, mostly it's bungalows on that street. There are a few colonials, but they are not as huge as this. I mean, I'm thrilled they're redoing this house, but I really don't think it needs to be this big. It's gonna be the biggest house on the block. It's overwhelming. I mean, I get the need for a kosher kitchen, but then put it over in the family room if you need more room. I just don't understand why it needs to be so huge. And I'm guessing you're going to approve it because that monstrosity you guys approved on Borgman, I mean, it's huge. Do we not have an ordinance that deals with these Bigfoot houses? I just really don't want our street turning into Birmingham. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, for the record, both of the house on Borgman and this house are under lot coverage.
I'm Adam. I'm hoping that this will be my house. I hope that regardless of that, I hope we'll have a good relationship as neighbors. I live in Ann Arbor right now. I work at University of Michigan. The reason that we're moving here, we've already purchased the home, is my brother lives on Talbot, my cousin lives on Talbot, my sister is about to move in on LaSalle. My best friend from growing up lives on Belfour. Another one of my friends lives in the neighborhood. Like I'm deeply rooted here. So it's not an experience of moving to a new neighborhood, but rather of coming to be with community. And so very explicitly and intentionally, we're coming to be with other people. And so the space is designed to be with other people. I appreciate the thoughts that you guys have shared, that it seems reasonable, but I want to give that perspective that the goal isn't to come and have a giant oversized house, but rather to make sure that there's space for the people that we care about, that we're moving. I'm staying at University of Michigan, so I'm going to be commuting. Like we're here so that my kids can play with their cousins. Obviously, like different people can have different size houses, and obviously, like we feel lucky that this is a possibility. But I just want to give that perspective. It's not so that we can like hang out in a sauna or something like that. It's a space to share with people that we care about. So I just want to share that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public participation?
Well, I'm grateful that a commissioner pointed out that there are not just no gutters, there's no downspouts. And I see your signs all over the city, so I know you're familiar.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're familiar with 40-7.03. And so not only do you need to have downspouts, you're supposed to be talking about the means by which stormwater detention will be provided. Also, if the front elevation is changing, there's a requirement that you're supposed to provide an elevation of the immediately adjacent buildings. And I didn't see that. It sounds like there was, I mean, it's not up here for the public to see.
Just
No,
one.
that's the actual house. But you're supposed to be.
The house next door, this one isn't here.
Okay, well, where is it? So my question is, how do these things keep coming before the board? And like, I think that some plans have actually gone to Noack and Frous with no downspouts, which makes you question Noack and Frous. So I'd like to see some I's dotted and T's crossed before it gets here, because it doesn't build trust in the community that these, I mean, we had plans come last month. They went through the architect, and it was the same kind of thing, like, oh, the downspouts, oh, I forgot them. You know, we had a master plan developed where 65% of the community, it was the top concern, stormwater management. And I just don't see evidence that the city's taking it seriously. So you I see your signs all over. We need these architects to take a look at it. We have 40-7.03, and then we have a planning commission checklist, which is on the website for everybody to see. And I keep seeing architects come in not following it.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Hank, now on A2, can you pull that up real quick?
A2, Chris?
Yeah, A2. I thought I saw, unless I'm some indication of downspouts on this.
A2 is a floor plan.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
well, I showed him.
But
I
on
did show him
the
corner.
outside,
In the corners.
yeah, in the corners.
They're required on the elevations also.
No?
It is on the one in our copy.
Yeah, in
It
the,
is on, okay,
yeah,
It is on which?
so,
on the paper.
yeah, so we had two versions we sent Hank.
Yeah.
And because he had said, you gotta show where the
Oh,
downspouts are
corner.
gonna go.
Well,
Yeah,
it just
Yeah.
says DS.
right.
And then we do show the swales on either side running. Fortunately, we've got about, I think it's, let's see. Yeah, we've got almost 3 feet of fall from the backyard to the road. So we've got good pitch, so we'll be able to create swales and run. And then we'll probably, what we'll end up doing is running, when we do the landscaping, we'll probably run the downspouts underground and to the front yard and then use pop-up things.
And where will those be, near the sidewalk? You gonna dump
No,
them
they'll-
in the driveway?
We can't, yeah, you already had your public participation.
You put up
We're-
plans and you don't provide enough
Ma'am.
information.
Any other public participation? Okay, we're going to close public participation. Any further questions?
If you'd like to see the other pictures that were photographed, your house may be one of them. All of these colonials are on 50-foot lots, not 80-foot lots. The three houses in a row, Adams and the two to the side, are 80-foot lots. So that's one of the reasons they're larger. I believe Rick Kagan's house on your side of the street is also possibly on an 80-foot lot and is large. So it's not that he's the only one on that side of the street or whatever there is across the street. I understand how much can be accomplished on 50 feet. And I think that they've done a good job of trying to maintain and get what they need for their family on there. And whether it's 195 feet over, that's not our decision. That's the zoning board of appeals decision as to whether he's gonna get that or has to lop something off. But otherwise, he's staying within, those things, and he's already a non-conforming side yard setback that he's not changing at all.
I would just add that I looked up 13123 Nadine, and there are differences depending on what website you visit, whether it's a 5-bedroom or a 6-bedroom, so.
Oakland County shows it as 6.
Thank you, Hank.
Any further questions or discussions? And motion?
I was gonna say, were you gonna say? I would motion to approve, subject to the engineering drawings coming back in compliance with those drawings. It appears that now the spouts are on the drawing, even though that is not an actual requirement for us. So, that's the motion. Oh, and those, of course, passing of the zoning board of appeals.
I'll second that, adding with the addition of storm water management remaining on the property.
I'll second the amendment of the motion.
I would point out to the extent possible, because a lot of it, to the sides, yes, to the front, water naturally on the fall of the lot will go towards the street. Did you want to amend that,
Yeah.
Gail, except for?
Well, that they don't do runoff to their neighbor's property, is that what we can say?
You could say that, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's stamped on every plan, so for the building official.
I'll amend it that they maintain their water and don't run off to their neighbor's property.
Second.
Second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Would you like your plans back?
When you go to ZBA, have the downs.
I appreciate that.
Do you want the surveys?
Yes.
One more packet.
Sorry,
Chris?
there's one more right here.
How about that one?
He didn't show.
Okay. Okay, moving on to item number 6, matter of public hearing for proposed ordinance changes to prohibited uses for short-term rentals.
So we have two number 6s.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Chair, let's go with the first number 6. The second number 6.
Second number
That one. A matter of public hearing, proposed ordinance changes to public use, for prohibited use for short-term rentals. So, I think that you've had the initial that we got from Matt on this. part of this is since, like, if you've been following the news and everything lately, it's kind of come to the forefront of having this. So what the city of Huntington Woods has before you this evening is a proposal for short-term rentals that says, a dwelling or portion thereof, which would include pools or anything else like that, where people rent them for pool parties, rented or leased for compensation for a term of less than 30 days. So what the 30 days does is that is the tested and true time frame in which all the communities are going for short-term rental. If, because we had originally talked about, well, we should maybe make it longer, or we should do that, but at this point in time, the courts are upholding, according to Matt, 30 days as defining a short-term rental, so we wanted to combine with that. Should that change, we may be back before you. But at this point in time, that'll take care of part of the problems that we have. So what exactly did we do? In the zoning, Article 4, District Regulations, Section 40-4.08, Schedule of Use Regulations in the Use Matrix, amended to add the following. So what it does is it adds a category of short-term rental. It does not permit it in the R1 district, meaning the residential district that we have, it does not permit it, period in that. RT and TD, which are the commercial districts, RT is not permitted, BD, which is a business district, is not permitted, PRD is also not permitted, and that's the Parks and Recreational District. It is permitted in TD, which is our transitional district, by special land use. So we have not exclusionary zoned this out of Huntington Woods, but we put it in the transitional district. So where's the transitional district? The transitional district is in the master plan and future land use plan for the city of Huntington Woods for all the buildings on Woodward for transition. So in other words, if somebody wanted to come through and change their building, the goal was originally, we would like to have in our dreams, restaurants on the first floor, retail on the first floor, on the second floor, offices, third floor condos, maybe fourth floor condos if they charge for that. Those type of places could be used upon a special land use for short-term rentals. And that's what we're going with. I did speak to the my counterpart in Birmingham, and they were having a time with it because the short-term rentals was problematic for them, not only for the houses, but people renting the pools. The way that we've articulated it in the ordinance takes care of both of those. So that's what we wanted to do. The city commission was very anxious to get this in front of them. Again, you have the memo from Matt also in your packet. So that would explain what his version of this is. And if you take a look, we took the simplest way to do this. We changed a couple things and tweaked this and added short-term rentals rather than go through and rewrite the whole thing because it just didn't need to be. So that's kind of where we're at. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, we would appreciate moving this forward.
Thank you, Hank. Any questions?
We don't have any permits for rentals in the city that have been designated themselves as short-term rentals, do we?
We do not.
Okay, because I know in other communities, they allowed them, they had them, and allowing them to be grandfathered in for a certain period or whatever else. I've been studying Pleasant Ridge in Birmingham in respect to their short-term rental changes. And I know that, you know, personally, I think going from nothing to 30 days is a lot. And I know I commented before that others have looked at a 14-day or a 15-day rental period. But other than that, that's my only question.
The recommendation of the city attorney is 30 days. 14 days are what they found, or what the discussion has been with that, is that you have people that are renting these for the express purpose of having parties and that. We've had a couple of bad experiences in Huntington Woods with this. and, which is part of bringing this up. But the reason is in like 7 days or 14 days, if somebody's charging admission to these parties, they make enough to cover that. So it wasn't, if they're charging $20 a head and 200 people show up, it becomes a problem. So the other thing that we had is that with this and the urgency in getting this done is, we actually had one party that was being had at this where there was just tons of people everywhere, and it was called in as a shots fired. So our officers responded to that in that fashion. And it turns out that there wasn't shot fires, but there was times when something was thrown through a window. But that one did come in, and that's a little scary and a lot out of character for the city of Huntington Woods.
It is.
So that was part of the impetus and the urgency in this as well.
But I think the part of it, if you have it in an ordinance for short-term rentals, that it is not a business to party or to rent out or to charge admission to come to a short-term rental. It's a short-term rental for occupancy, not for partying.
But you can't dictate that. I feel like if it's short-term, they're not saying, oh, I'm gonna have a party here. You're not telling.
They're not gonna tell you,
Yeah, they're not gonna tell you they're having a party.
but that's part of what the enforcement of the ordinance is, that if it's not allowed and you find out they do, then
But if you're
you
gonna
shut it
throw a
down.
party, you don't care what the ordinance says. Like, just,
That was our experience with it.
I guess my question is, okay, so say, because it's come up how people are looking for places for their family that's coming in town. On the neighborhood Facebook page, if you write, hey, I'm looking for, is anyone gonna be out of town for the week of 4th of July? Can I rent your house for the week? Like, is that?
That would be a short-term rental, and we would
Okay,
not
so-
allow that.
Okay, so if somebody's casually like writing that on Facebook, looking, from one neighbor to another neighbor, how are you gonna monitor that?
The
I
same
guess?
way we monitor Airbnbs at the current time. Our field code guy looks through it
So like they're,
and sees what he can
If
find.
they post that they're doing something or they have something for rent,
well, no, but I'm saying people aren't posting that they have something for us. They're looking for something, and then somebody else volunteers their house because they're gonna be out of town.
They would be in violation.
Right. But I guess the thing is, like, I'm not gonna be monitoring Facebook and say like, hey, I'm on the planning commission, that's illegal.
That wouldn't be your job.
Right.
We're not,
So I
not the
guess-
enforcement. I think it just gives, to Hank's point, I think it gives
Yeah.
public safety in the city
Yeah.
something to
I mean,
rest
listen,
upon.
I'm all for it. I think it
Yeah.
needs to happen, and I think 30 days is a sure way to make sure it doesn't happen. But I do think, there might be some gray area with people online. Because I see people write all the time on there.
But then they'd have to advertise that it's for compensation, for money, and then they'd probably have to do it more than once to actually get in any real trouble here, like.
Right, but I don't think like they're gonna get into trouble. I guess the question is like, is that a violation?
Yes,
Yes.
Right. Okay.
absolutely.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think your question is do you want it to be?
Well, I guess that's the thing, like, say my next door neighbor is going out of town for a week, and they're like, hey, we're gonna be gone for a week, and I was like, oh, my family's actually coming in that week. Can they stay at your house?
And
You
so
know, like-
according to this ordinance, that's fine as long as there's no money exchanged.
Right.
Okay,
That doesn't preclude you from going up north and you have people coming in town
And house
So-
it.
saying, yeah, here, you can just stay here,
My
that's
parents would be
fine.
glad to house it.
Yeah.
right, okay.
That's a
what I
different-
wanted
that's
to,
a different
like,
thing.
Clarify.
Yeah.
Do we have in the ordinance quiet hours, things like that?
We have public nuisance.
We have public nuisance in general. Do we have it in the ordinance so that any rental knows the same rules, whether it's 30 days or longer? I think it's a good idea.
We have a noise ordinance and we have,
But
general
typically,
reasons.
they don't know it, I know.
But
I-
you're asking like if a landlord would know that they can't do this for under 30 days.
Well, they can't do it for less than 30 days, but even if they're renting it for 30 days, the tenant needs to know what the rules of the community are to live by. You know, being in real estate, I sell or rent houses or condominiums, and every time I sell a condominium, I have to give the rules and regs to the new buyer so that they know the rules to live by in the community.
You're being
Right.
polite. The regulations, you do not have to disclose that. If you buy into that community, you as the buyer need to learn the rules you got into.
No, that's not
Yes,
true.
that is true.
I must give master deed bylaws and rules and regs.
You do not have, when I buy and sell a house in Huntington Woods.
No,
you
that's
do not
different.
have to
You're talking about a
disclose one
condominium.
thing.
I'm talking about condominium, but I'm just saying, there are rules and
Those-
regs.
that's not
and so
an
I'm saying,
HOA.
do we
Yeah,
have
this
any
is no HOA.
regulations other than quiet whatever? You know, it's like I wasn't gonna call the police last night when 5 after 12 fireworks went off somewhere. Cause I didn't know where it was, and by the time they came afterwards, who would have known?
I think it's up to the citizen to know to be informed, to inform themselves of the laws and ordinances of a community that they're living in. If they don't, that's on them. And then there's legal ramifications for them when those things do occur. I think this is just another piece of that puzzle for enforcement, to give our public safety officers and our city that leverage,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Fair assessment.
So, any,
Another tool. Nope, I think it's good.
okay. Okay, we will open up to public participation. We will close public participation. Any further questions, comments, or motion? Chair will entertain a motion.
So we motioning to approve or to adopt?
Your motion to recommend to the city commission
Right.
to adopt this particular ordinance as read.
I will make a motion to recommend that the city commission adopt this ordinance.
Second. Second, okay.
Second.
All right, all those,
Sorry, I thought you
that's
did.
okay, sorry.
I was waiting for all in favor, my fault.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. All right, okay, moving on to number 8. Matter of public hearing for roofing materials. Ordinance Chapter 40, zoning section 40-5, dot 414. Hank.
This incarnation, which has come to you before, but we weren't able to, it kind of got put in on the back burner with the other stuff that we had going on. Now is the date and time for the public hearing on this. Basically what this does is it defines what types of materials and where they can go, what they can do. Standing seam, there were some language changes based on comments from the planning commission. Those are evidenced in FI, so that if, it's pretty clear as to what you can and can't use as the predominant materials. Accent roofs are a slightly different story, but they're not the same thing as getting perhaps an industrial roof on your main roof on the house, and then have some other subject roofs for accent roofs. So this was just simply done, basically the changes were made at the planning commission request, and happy to answer any other questions.
Changes were made at whose request?
Planning commission,
Our request.
your request.
Okay.
The changes were at your request.
Thank you, Hank. Any questions? No? All right. Opened up to public participation? No public participation? Okay. We'll close public participation and looking for a motion to recommend to the city commission.
This is for adoption, not to go to the commissioners, correct?
No, these all go to the commission.
Okay,
All the yours are recommendations.
okay. I'll make a motion to recommend sending the roofing materials ordinance to the commissioners for their review and acceptance.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you very much. And now we will open it up to public participation for anything that was not on the agenda. And just we'll limit it to 2 minutes.
Okay, we're getting shorter and shorter. Okay, so I was surprised to go to the Environmental Sustainability Committee, and they're already looking at changes to the ordinance. So when I was here in February, I think it was presented to you, stuff related to stormwater. And so in
Okay.
February, Hank put it out to you guys, and he said, you know, send me changes, and then we'll finalize it, and then it will go to Sustainability Committee. And I've been at, you guys have been blessed with me, all these meetings, and I have not seen any open discussion about the ordinances. So I'm concerned, and when I asked Hank, you know, what was the needs analysis, why did you pick the certain ones? I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. Why did you pick them? He told me he didn't know. So,
That's not what was said,
well, that's what you said.
no.
Okay, well, anyway, so I would like to see a proper needs analysis. So really looking at, I know he thinks it's funny, look at where have people been complaining? Where have things gone wrong? Taking stock of what are our current procedures? Like we have this, we have the ordinance and we have a site planning checklist, but still a program can come before missing elements. So I hope you'll do it. And then the other thing too, to let you know, I don't know if you're familiar with it, we do have a document on community engagement, and in it, they say how important it is to engage the people. And so far, we have not been engaged, so we have to show up looking like complainers, providing amusement for David Schwartz. There is a section for charrettes and focus groups, so I suggest you do that. Because if you look on Nextdoor, there's a lot of people with water issues. You know, I was severely impacted by nuisance water. There's a lot of other people, and some of them don't like conflict, they don't like coming up here, or they don't understand stormwater, or they don't want to trouble their neighbors' relationships.
You're at time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, we'd like to hear from you guys on it.
Can I ask a question?
Public comment.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we have a checklist that, because I feel like, yeah, like we're not getting anywhere with this back and forth stormwater conversation ever. So how can we eliminate the back and forth so that, you know?
So, Mr. Chair, I'll answer her question if you feel that's okay.
Yes.
Basically, an ordinance takes months to do. It was always the intention, in fact, when we started this, we said it was going to take a long time.
Right.
The fact that it has gone, and it hasn't been on our agenda for 2 months, is reflective that the Environmental Advisory Committee hasn't given us any comments on this.
Okay, so we kind of
So-
wait for them.
Well, we are with this, because
Okay.
they do have a voice, and we want to hear what they have to say. Not to do so would be remiss. This has been on the agenda. Every time it's been on the agenda, it's on the website, it's on the agenda notice for the public, so they know that they can come here and take a look at it. As far as charrettes, maybe, but we're not there yet. We're nowhere near the end of this ordinance. The final draft is not even close. As I explained to the Environmental Advisory Committee, this is not what the city's presenting. What this is a very basic framework for people to add into. And at that point in time, when it's appropriate, we'll be taking more comments.
Well, and I would assume that nothing's going to get approved in, you know, like their plans today unless it passes the appropriate downspouts and, you know, I mean, they're not just gonna stamp plans that are,
By the time this becomes a finished ordinance, okay, Noack and Frous will have looked at it. Matthew Zaleski, our city attorney, will have looked at the final copy. The planning commission will look at a final copy prior to setting it for public hearing. Okay. The environmental advisory committee will have looked at that. All of these public meetings are advertised. They're on the website. People know that they can go and take a look at it, see what's on the agenda. And with that having been said, they can come to the meeting.
Right.
Whether they choose to en masse or whether one person decides to come to the meeting, they still come to the meeting. People still hear what they say.
But even the plans that we've approved that don't, like today that we approved, Noack and Frous, like they're not going to just approve a plan that has no.
No, they
wa-
can't. Because
Right.
it's subject to Noack and Frouse's review, and then it's subject to review by an Act 54 certified building official.
Okay.
So that, before that gets out the door, I have to have those couple documents. And Dwayne Franks, who is our Act 54 certified building official, has been in Berkeley, Oak Park, many other communities. So he's very familiar with the area, very familiar with the
Right.
soils, very familiar with the needs. We were fortunate to get him.
I
Other
would
than that,
like-
yes.
I would just like to add a question, piggybacking on Sarah. Do we have the power or capability to request a survey, or is is the young lady here at the wrong forum, and that needs to be a request for the city commission?
That's correct. You can ask, if we have something like this, say, for example, a small mudroom addition off the back of the house, and they have a plot plan or a survey for that, that's gonna be fine. Is that gonna go to Noack and Frous? No, because it's a 10 by 10 room, which doesn't change anything. If we're doing like what Mr. Morgan was promoting tonight, or proposing tonight, where there's an addition of substance across the back of the house, and they're actually demolishing or working on over 50% of the structure, then we ask for that.
Right.
So that has to come in. So when we send that to Noack and Frous sends us a letter that says like a grading report. Do this, 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 and this, and then it's approved. So then they have to do this, 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 and this. When the building official goes out for the final inspection, he'll take that letter. He'll take the approved plans. Those items on the Noack and Frous then would become part of the plan approval. So while you can't fit all that on a permit, it would be on the attachments. The Noack and Frous letters that come back then go on to the BS&A. At some point, they will be attached to the BS&A file. So that's what happens with that. But they're looked at, this isn't Hank in a vacuum doing this. This is,
Right.
our Act 54 buildings official, our city engineer, and in a lot of cases too, our city attorney. So, we look at a lot of that stuff.
And I would just add, like, I know you mentioned like a forum like Nextdoor and things like that, and those are fine. And that's, you take it for what it's worth, positive or negative. Invite those folks, when you see those folks talking on there, invite them to talk to us. Come to the meetings. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, I am more than happy to do that. You talk to Hank, you can talk to any of those folks here in the city. They're more than willing to talk to you. I've talked to many of them way too much lately, but about other things. So just encourage that. I always go back to, like, we all know what's going on in Washington DC, but I don't know what the heck's going on in Pontiac, and I don't really know what's going on in Lansing, right? But I know what's going on in DC because that's what's forefront. Same thing here. Let's know what's going on, here, what's affecting us day in and day out, whether it be here in Huntington Woods, Pontiac, or Lansing, in those type of respects, of course. But we need involvement. We need, the back and forth. We're citizens just like you. And we care about this stuff as well, so.
I believe you asked us to try to help set up resident committees. That's not our job as the planning commission. We don't do that. We don't create other subcommittees underneath us or whatever else. if somebody's gonna create committees or studies, it's gonna be the commissioners, not the planning commissioner. You know, our job is to come here to see plans, to review plans, to approve or deny plans, but not to create, community involvement in the committee. It would be going to the commissioners and asking them to do something.
Well, what about the master plan, which is
This
under
is a discussion.
The master plan,
So I'll
when they come out, was open to public participation, you know, and input for the items that would go in the master plan.
And we haven't had one annual report.
Okay, you
Okay.
know what, this is,
Okay, I'll contact you first.
Yep,
Thank you.
okay. Any other
Motion
questions?
to move it. Anything else, Hank?
no, at this point in time, the only thing that we need is a motion to adjourn.
That's what I said.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
Do you have a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you, everybody.
I think she's taking the job.
Whatever happened to expensive?